You're like a true tastemaker.
I'm like just happy to be here. It wasn't good. I was like literally almost dead. My mom just like had a feeling that I was gonna die at some point, and I kind of feel like she saved my life that night. I came home and music is like saved my life entirely. I always was just attracted to escaping. Music helped me kind of live again.
Behind your back, you're very loved in the songwriting community.
In my opinion, you find your sound by meshing a lot of your favorite things together, and it creates a kind of new thing.
Tell me about how Good Things Fall Apart came to be.
Dude, it's the fastest song I've ever written.
Yeah, he's fast. Can you play the demo?
Yeah.
This season is presented by NMPA, the National Music Publishers Association, champions of songwriters and publishers everywhere. Welcome to And the Writer Is. I'm your host, Ross Golan. Today's disc jockey isn't only influential to dance music. He's a classic style producer who has immersed himself in the songwriting community. From the ashes to multi-platinum singles and Grammy nominations, his career coincides with collaborators like Jon Bellion, Halsey, Teddy Swims, etc., etc., etc. This fellow Chicago native turned heartbreak into a sonic universe of billions of streams, sold-out tours, and a fiercely loyal fan base. But most importantly, he uses his platform to advocate for those who've shared similar struggles. And the writer is Illenium.
What's up, Ross? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Fellow Chicago native.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I was born there, and I only lived there for like a year and a half. So
you got the blood in there.
Yeah, blood's there. Yeah. Still love that city though. One of my favorites.
What is your why were you moving around so much?
I moved pretty much all the way through middle school. I was in a new city like every year and a half to 2 years. My dad was just like serious ADD, loved switching jobs, was in like software and just switched jobs a lot. And it was cool. Like as a kid, had its pros and cons for sure.
What are the pros and cons?
I mean, I feel like you have new experiences. It's like kind of an adventure, but it's also hard to like find new friends every 2 years for sure. And there's challenges of like having those really close friends that you've had for your whole life. Like I don't really have that as much from my early childhood until we settled in the Bay Area in like middle school and high school. And I still have a lot of friends from like that era.
Yeah. So it's just coincidence you were born in Chicago.
Coincidence, yeah. My family only lived there for like 2 years.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, 2 older sisters.
So all of you guys moved together.
Oh yeah.
Did that make you closer to your siblings?
For sure. I mean, it was always like we would always like get close to like really close to friends and like love a place. Like I lived in Seattle from 3rd and 4th grade and I loved Seattle. And then we moved to San Francisco and I was like devastated. But like it was definitely good to at least have the family and like lean on them.
What's the best city you grew up in?
I'm a huge San Francisco fan. Like
Yeah,
I love the city of San Francisco. I think it's like just such a unique and like walking downtown, the different like neighborhoods and the different character of it. It's like just got such a vibe to it. One of my favorites for sure.
So you're born Nick.
Yeah.
And
Nicholas, if you want to be
Nicholas. Nicholas D. Miller. Okay,
Nicholas
so you're
Daniel
born
Miller. Yeah, my mom's mad. It's Nicholas Daniel Miller.
Oh,
sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Why is she?
I mean,
Did she call you?
Is that not a thing? I feel like whenever a mom is mad, it's like the full name comes out. Yeah.
That's funny. That's
It's a
accurate.
rare thing nowadays.
Tell me about your childhood as far as music's concerned. Like, who played music in the household?
My mom and dad, huge country fans.
Really?
Huge, yeah. Like pretty much my grandfather was like a rancher, like Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash, like a lot of really Alan Jackson, a lot of country. And then my dad loves like classic rock too. I listen to a lot of classic rock. And then when I kind of like my sisters and stuff, like my first CD I ever owned was like Blink and Evanescence. And I went very like pop punk rock for a while. I loved everything though. High school was like Lil Wayne, Drake, like a lot of everything.
What's the first instrument you played?
I dabbled with piano tiny bit, and then I took guitar lessons in 8th grade for like 3 months. That's it.
And that's it?
Yeah.
So what's your first instrument then? It's got to be kind of a computer.
Yeah, honestly. But like when I first started producing, I had no knowledge of music theory. I was just kind of like winging it, I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know what a root note was, like put the bass on like a minor third, and like it was not good. And then when I moved to Denver in like 2012, I met one of my longtime collaborators. His name's Said the Sky. He's like a classically trained piano, and he taught me like everything. So that's where I really learned proper.
How old were you then?
This was 2013, so I was like 21, 22. It was like right
when
I was...
Oh, so you kind of took it, you went through all high school, you were not creating anything.
I mean, I was making beats, but they were like bad. I was making beats, having my friends rap on them, like sampling stuff.
So it was all
GarageBand though.
It was more hip hop that you first started
Yeah,
with?
It was like electronic stuff. Like I was listening to like a lot of Tiësto. I had learned about electronic music maybe in 2010, 11, like a lot. 2009.
Who showed you that?
The first album I was obsessed with was Tiësto's Kaleidoscope album.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That first song with Jonesy. And I'm a big Sigur Rós fan, and Jonesy's like awesome.
Same.
Like the Sigur Rós Philharmonic YouTube is phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah, that's where our like 10th anniversary was going to the Greek to see them.
Good.
You know what's crazy? How many followers do you think, or monthly listeners do you think Sigur Rós has?
I mean, I listen a lot. I would guess like 1 to 4 million.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good guess, but it's below 1.
Is it?
Or maybe it's improved, but
I mean, I'm definitely one of them.
Yeah, me too. You've got like a band that might be the top 10 most influential band to the people who work in electronic and in rock and alt rock. Like it's so influential for it to be something that is not as commercially respected as it should be.
Yeah. It's so I like, it's very goosebump inducing, like so good.
Wait, so who gives you the Tiësto album? Like if you're listening to country music all the time, like who's like, hey, check
no, good
this
question.
out?
So it was like the era of blogs, and like one of my really good friends from high school was writing or started this blog called Big Green Beats. And I was just like, loved finding new music on this thing. Like I found, like a bunch of Kid Cudi mixtapes. Like I love Kid Cudi. What's the first mixtape? A Kid Named Cudi?
It might be
with the prayer on it and stuff. Oh, such bangers. But I would look at this blog all the time, and it popped up. The first, like the Tiësto album popped up, and I was like, let me listen to this. And I knew of like electronic music for sure before that, but I wasn't listening to it a ton. I think like I got into that album, opened me up. I like was obsessed with the Armin van Buuren song Going Wrong. I was just like looking at blogs and stuff. It started my like interest in that realm for sure.
So,
but I was just like finding music on blogs.
But even finding music on blogs is a big difference between that and like, oh, I think I can make this.
Oh yeah, no, I was not making any of it really. I was just like, I was also at a stage in my life where I was like getting after it pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like I was really, when I was like in high school, I was experimenting, and by like sophomore, junior year, I was using opiates and like was really bad. So it wasn't like my whole focus at that time, like 2008, 9, 10 was like pretty much drugs. And then I got sober in 2012 when I moved to Colorado.
Got it. Is that why you guys moved?
That's why I moved. Yeah. I was solo there. My whole family's still in San Francisco.
Got it.
So I was going through like bunch of downs, not really ups and downs, pretty much all down. Just like and then in 2011 it really went hard, like really bad. And then I got sent to a wilderness program, which was fire, and then moved to Colorado and did some more treatment, and then got sober in Colorado.
How are you doing with treatment now?
Oh, I'm good. I've been sober 13 years. Music has like saved my life entirely because I dove in like hard.
Why? I mean, not to get so far into this, but like, what introduced you to drugs, or who introduced you? But like, what got you into it? And then, like, what was that experience like while you're listening to music, while you're living your life? Like, such a young age.
I know. It was like, it was definitely at the peak of like opiate, pharmaceutical, just like kids. It's the access is absurdly easy. Like a lot. I wouldn't say a lot of my friends were doing it, but a good fucking amount, like unhealthy amount, and scary. And over the past 15 years, I've lost a ton of friends from it. And it's just like, I think me personally, I always was just like attracted to like escaping, whether it was movies or whether it was like video games or whatever. Like I just really enjoyed escaping. And as soon as like alcohol or drugs, I was very much just like willing to try stuff.
Yeah.
And I think opiates is just like immediately for me was my mentality just went to like, I want to be like that level as much as I can be. It just immediately like had this mental addiction aspect to it. And it was like
that age too is a really competitive age.
Yeah.
And so you get into this, once you get in that cycle,
it's so toxic, dude. But it would be like, I mean, I don't say like pro, but like, I did find, like getting high, listening to really intense epic music, or like how like it was very stimulating and very like world building inside of my head, like a kind of like you're escaping very extremely. Obviously that pro comes with a shit ton of cons, and then like my life is falling apart and shit by the end of it. So
leaving your family at that age, was it what was the relationship with your family at that point?
It was I burned everything down pretty much. It was bad. It was like, I mean, I was, as a kid, stealing from my parents and just, like really being not a good at all kid, being really dishonest. And both of my sisters were just like so over it. Just terrified that I was going to die at some point. And my mom and dad would always like, try to be there, but also not try to, obviously like, what's the word I'm looking for? Enable. Yeah. So I was like kicked out of my house by the end of it. And then there was one night, so I was in a treatment center. I got kicked out of the treatment center in San Francisco. I had a laptop with all of my music and all this stuff I had made. It wasn't good, but I was like, that's like the one thing I cared about really was my laptop. Sold the laptop and like was pretty much like, I really hated myself. I was like kind of not suicidal, but I didn't really care. And that night, weirdly, like I was kicked out. My family was so over, but my mom just like had a feeling that I was like gonna die. She reached out and she said, just come home. We're gonna come home and we'll figure it out. I came home and I kind of feel like she saved my life that night. I came home and like 4 days later, I went to a wilderness program, which is what I needed. I needed to just be like sent out into a place where like access is cut off, like get rudimental with being a human. And like, it was so fun. Like slowly over that time, I feel
How long were you there?
I was in the wilderness for 71 days. Yeah. Fun times. Making fires with sticks and shit.
How many people were with you?
You have these little groups of like 8 to 10 people with like not a counselor. Like it's not really like,
is everyone recovering?
No, not all. It's some behavior modification, some all over the place. But yeah, it was a cool personal experience. And then after then, I went to Carbondale, Colorado, and I went to another kind of more addiction-centered treatment center that had a bunch of younger kids. I could ski. I got really into skiing. I've always been really into skiing, but like really into skiing, like skiing 60, 70 days a year.
Wow.
Which also really blew up my music, like searching for good music and messing. When I first got sober, I would like, because you make playlists for skiing and just like blast shit all day. And I would watch so many like Art of Flight or like all these really sick snowboarding and skiing movies. And they have such good soundtracks. And so I would just like, I don't know, I kind of created a world around that and skiing.
So you're in Colorado and you're in Colorado and you start to kind of change up your personality.
Hugely.
You find who you are.
Yeah. And I was 20 at the time.
And who gets you the computer that you start making music
that
on?
was a big, I had asked my parents, and it was a very sore subject because it's like everything we get for you, you fucking sell for heroin. And it was a hard, really hard thing for both of us. And I was just like, I'm in a safe place. I know, like, I don't necessarily deserve this, but I just, I really want to just enjoy I have a feeling that I want to be creative and want to learn how to do this properly. I was going to shows too at that point, like in Aspen at Belly Up. I saw like Adventure Club and a bunch of other random people there. But
I mean, it's so crazy because drugs is such a part of that scene.
yeah, but it helped having the community of people that were
Yeah.
like trying to not do that, and that also love skiing and loved music. Like we would make, it was still burning CDs era, but we would like burn CDs and hang out with friends and like bump stuff. Like you're 20 years old, you don't like, all is really partying or drug use. And it's like, what can I do? Like, okay, music's freaking sweet. Skiing's really fun. Like I was working at a burrito shop and just trying to not be a total degenerate.
Yeah. It's weird when you make get lost in making music. It's hard to explain how many hours can go by because you're so
hugely.
lost in like, I know this drum beat isn't right. So but you're listening through the whole song 10, 20, 30, 100 times. And like the entire day's gone by and you're looking like, wow, that was, especially that age. Like
it's the best.
It's hard for those who don't create music and for those, who don't get into the nuances of sound design and whatnot. They don't realize how far you can go into like tweaking synth sounds.
And that like whole span, like that, like the most satisfying and best feeling is when you can when you really have everything structured out, you have something there, you spend all this time putting things in place and you have like an actual song where you produced it. It's like such a cool feeling. Like this came from nothing, the creative outlet. I didn't really like I had a little bit of a creative outlet, but when you're using, all you think about is using or the next time you're going to use, or like there's not so when I'm trying to get sober, having the ability to like forget about using and like having the ability to really like be so zoned in on something that you just spent 8 hours not being degenerate is like pretty mind-blowingly epic. Cause it's like, I didn't actually like, I was just enjoying what I was doing and it totally helped me escape my struggle and shit,
When do you come up with the name Illenium?
So that doesn't happen for a couple years. I was like messing around. I had an earlier name that I'm not going to say because it was awful.
Is there music out there under that name?
Yeah, there is. And I'm not, it's so bad, dude. It was like I was making like Wonderwall remixes and like, it was fun though. Like
there's probably something in there.
It's so bad. This is when I didn't know what a root note was and shit. It was, and then in early 2013, I started Illenium. I actually first started it as Illenium Falcon, which is funny.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
And then I dropped the Falcon so 2013, I'm skiing a lot, but I really, really am getting like, I've been making music pretty like not well yet, but decently for about a year. And I really want to like follow at least the music. So I moved from Carbondale to Denver and I enroll in this like CU Denver music program, which wasn't amazing. It was cool with like learning some engineer stuff, but it wasn't that, for what I wanted, I learned way more on like YouTube and just going to like other producers' house and learning like that way. But moving to Denver was a really big step for me.
Who are some of the producers who show you stuff? Because I feel like at that point, YouTube's new, but it's still not quite. Yeah. I mean, it's not that new at that point, but it's still not what it is today.
Yeah.
And it helps to have somebody actually say like, "Hey, look at this knob. You can automate here," and like
totally.
And performing out live, which you haven't even talked about yet, like that stuff is like somebody shows you some of this stuff, or like go buy this. This is better for you.
I think I was working in hospitality up in Carbondale, in Aspen, actually at the Little Nell Hotel in this back room. And I would like answer the phone calls, but every time there wasn't a phone call, I'd be watching YouTube tutorials and messing around. Like the full basis of my Ableton knowledge definitely comes from YouTube tutorials. But then in 2013 when I moved to Denver, there was a guy who's the nicest guy ever. His name's Chris Cox. He goes by, there's a huge dubstep scene in Colorado. And he's Omega was his name. And he was just doing like early producer lessons. And I saw it on Facebook randomly. So I met up with him. We went through a few of my songs and he helped me like production wise. And also my buddy, who's a longtime Denver DJ, Ishi is his name. He like helped me kind of just like really really just mix wise, like think of things as a picture. You know, you generally want your kick in like the center bottom of that picture and your snare. Like you kind of just start sonically thinking like, and that was, I still think of that. Like, and like the general, like this is how much compression you do. And like that type of stuff. And he helped me a lot. But Omega introduced me to Said the Sky, who I mentioned. And that was like huge because we were at a similar level production wise, but he was musically just like, he's so talented musically. And we met each other and we moved in actually like 2 months later and we lived together and produced together ever since. So that's like
incredible.
That was huge. He taught me how to properly like make chords and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite parts of your music, which we'll get to in a second. But there's a difference between making music and burning CDs and skiing while listening to stuff and loving it. That's a different thing to starting to release it. What makes you release the music? So
when I first moved down to Denver, I was still releasing remixes. It was pretty much all remixes from like 2013 to 15. Just like really finding something cool. Like I would be on Hype Machine and stuff back in the day. Like, what's like a good one? Like my Oh Wonder Shark remix was one of the first things to really like do anything. It got multiple millions, and that one was like, I just found that song on Hype Machine. I loved it, and I just made a bootleg of it. Which like at the times you could just release bootlegs really easily. They fully like put it out after that, but
especially on SoundCloud and all that.
Yeah,
that is what SoundCloud was.
Totally. Yeah. It was like, let me try to make like 1 or 2 of these a month and just put out like go. And at that point we had made like my Phoenix logo. I was always like, what represents my music as a logo type of thing. Like I love world building and nerding out and stuff. And I love Phoenixes. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And I was just like, kind of fits. Like I always like music helped me totally like kind of live again. And so, you know, that's what I totally feel like as a purpose, like I just want to give people that, you know, for sure. Cause that's what I got from it. So not to get too deep and cheesy, but
no, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, I spent a big part of my career is advocacy.
Yeah.
Because when I was in my 20s, I was wasting a lot of it waiting for the industry to come to me.
Yeah.
And there were a few people who were like, starting to show me the ropes a little bit. Mm-hmm. And this is like 2008 and I'm giving my place back to a bank.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't know what I'm doing. And, it's like, I think the amount of people who came to help me get from this moment of like handing keys over and being like, I don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
To then having hits and living a life that I am so fortunate to live. I feel like music opened the door for me to live the life I always dreamed of living. Yeah, and so it's super important to aim for healthcare for songwriters and higher rates and just worrying about songwriters in a healthy way is like is
such a pivotal aspect. Yeah,
because if it's what got me out of the obviously different because I think what's really interesting doing this podcast for 200 and something episodes. It's like I think. A third of the people are addicts of some sort.
Yep.
A third of the people are recovering. and a third of the people are liars.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
funny.
It's like it's pretty much
Yeah.
everybody has like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
where they focus their addiction. If it's
For sure.
workaholism,
Yeah.
as benign as that may be
Yeah.
for most people, you know, to obviously
Yeah, I mean,
alcohol and
unless you're
drugs.
like ridiculously lucky, I feel like finding success in anything creative takes an addictive,
Yeah.
like, you know, not necessarily harmful at all, but just
Yeah, yeah.
like, I want to do this for many, many hours until I feel like it's done, or I'm just like creatively beaten,
Yeah.
you know, which happens some days too. You're like, I just didn't do what I wanted to do today, but I did it
Yeah.
all day, you know, wanted to.
It's
is what
okay
it
to
is.
write shitty songs.
You gotta write a lot of shit.
You gotta write a
songs.
shit.
A lot. Yeah.
So you know, you all the way through 2015, you're starting to release stuff. You're
Yeah.
starting to get
Yep.
noticed, but you know, the step going into Ashes,
Yeah.
which is sort of the first like, oh shit, have you heard this?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I know.
for the rest of the world. Like, what's the step from I'm, you know, doing these remixes to like to Ashes?
In my mind, like career wise, all I was thinking about was like, you know, YouTube promotional channels were really big. I got like really tight with the Mr. Suicide Sheep YouTube, who I that's like how I found a ton of music too. And Trap Nation was popping off then, and I didn't like care about streaming. I don't even know if like Spotify was really popping off yet, but it was like it was like all I cared about was SoundCloud and YouTube support in terms of like thinking as a business person. And then I would also just like look at other artists that were coming up and popping at that time, like Odessa or Porter Robinson, or like I loved Glitch Mob, like all these guys, and they were album people. And I like definitely relate to like, I want to be an album person. I want to like, you know, you have so much creative, you can do so much creatively in an album that you couldn't do if you just released singles. And I was always like, you know, I loved M83 and like all these people that like albums were their whole artistic, you know, vision and everything. So I think from pretty much in 2015, after I was doing remixes, but I was like, I really want to start working on an album, and I would just like make a ton of instrumentals, mass send emails to vocalists I really liked, and just find their emails on Facebook or whatever. You know, it's maybe a 10% chance you get a response. And at that time, but you know, it was just like a slow, it wasn't that, it was a pretty fast project. The album's only 10 songs. Trying to think how long it actually took me. I was probably working on all the songs for like a year, but it was for that album, I typically made some aspect of the instrumental first, and then I got a top line on it, where it's different now.
You might be the best DJ in the world at collaborating with artists before they're the biggest artists. And like, it's like you're part of the stepping stone, which means that you're like a true tastemaker.
Yeah. It helps too. I mean, my living situation was with Said the Sky, Trevor, and with Sean. I had moved in with Sean, and Sean is like really good at that aspect. He was working for EDM blogs at the time, and like finding a ton of like, he found that Lauv song before it did anything. Like so many songs he found that were like, he's in the room, so I feel bad talking him up, because, you know, that's not a normal. I love him to death, but yeah, he's got a really good ear for that stuff. So he found Quinn for the song With You. Like that was totally him. Yeah. And I love Quinn, and yeah.
So, you know, when Ashes comes out, it's sort of the community was like, this is amazing. There's, you know, a lot of people release music. What was the first song that you got back from sending out the beats that you were like, this feels different?
I think of that album, I think one of my favorite songs still is Afterlife with Echoes. That song, just like, I feel like of that album, you know, it was like, that song feels timeless to me. Like I still play that. The production still stands up, and I just feel like it's a really like cool story of a song, and it like was definitely the best I could produce at the time. Like it was the most technical for sure. I also love the song Fortress with Joni Fatora. But yeah,
Did you track vocals with them, or did they track vocals?
I don't think I tracked one vocal for that album. I think it was all remote. I just was talking to him online. And
have you met all the features?
Now I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But not at the time. No.
It
was online as hell.
It's a bizarre truth. It's like you end up with songs with, when you're a songwriter, you've half your songs that have come out, you haven't met the artists that have released the
that
songs.
was similar with the next album too. Like I didn't really get into the whole sessions, doing a lot of sessions until Ascend and Forward.
Well, that's where going even to the next thing. This is one of my favorite things that, behind your back, you're very loved in the songwriting community because you're willing to collaborate with real songwriters and real and artists at an early stage where everyone's sort of looking for their moment, and it's like, there aren't. You're sort of your gatekeeping is pretty small. It's your team of people that decide it. It's not like a thousand people who get in the way between you and the songwriting community.
Like for me, it 100% comes down to like the song, what the lyric content, like, does it fit what I love? Like, do I escape in this song? And like the tone, like the timbre of the voice, like it wasn't at all like manufactured. It was just like I love this song, and I can see it going into this direction, and so I'm going to take it in this direction. And
How did your family feel about the success from where you had been? How did they deal with that?
I mean pre-Ashes, like I wasn't really like crushing it, like but they were so supportive. Anything that was, they could tell how much healthier I felt, and like I was really like finding self-love, and I was, I found a passion fully, 2013 to 15, like I was immersed in my passion for sure by that point. And they were like full supportive.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How was your relationship with your sisters and your parents adjusting at that point?
I think it was, the comparison is so bad that anything, like anything is like, it was the best ever, like in my life, for sure, adult life, it was for sure the best it had ever been. They loved it.
Going to the second album and on, the names of the people that you start pulling in are much bigger, and like it's like Dea right after she's Dea, and Griffin, and these are really big features. Were you starting to seek them out with songs that were previously written? Or were you going to them to write songs, or were you in sessions with them?
No sessions for Awake yet. It was all either top line or similar, where I make the instrumental and someone writes to it, because I was still fully Colorado at that point. And but I think as your profile grows, like, my first album, I did an album tour, and I did like 250 to 1,000 person rooms, and like it was awesome. It was epic. And I think naturally as your profile grows and like the sound was kind of getting bigger, that your access just becomes like easier. You get more emails responded to and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, the Griffin one, we were buddies. That came out. He literally sent me the Dea vocal, and then the first, like, I just nerded out, and I produced like a whole song on that vocal in a couple days maybe. And we didn't actually use that instrumental. We remade the whole thing pretty much. But I did use that instrumental for a different song on the album called Free Fall, which is funny, but I built that song on the diet. Yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, Griffin came over for Feel Good in Denver, and we pretty much made that whole song in a day. Yeah.
What are some creative risks you were taking at that point that you weren't sure were going to land?
I feel like Awake is really the first album where I felt like I had found my sound, which is like, in my opinion, you find your sound by meshing a lot of your favorite things together, and it creates a kind of new thing. I was, like I kind of mentioned, Odessa, Seven Lions, Glitch Mob, a little bit of pop punk, and then you have a new sound. It's this whole like the whole thing. And really focused on like creative drums. Like there was so many, like I feel like drums are where you can separate yourself as a producer, especially electronic music. Like a lot of people can make the same sounding things, but I feel like with drums, you can really be like, okay, this is the bass line is kind of organic sounding versus very like clicky, or if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure it does.
And a lot of I feel like a lot of my drum inspiration is like anything Alex the Kid produced back in the day. Like all those drums are so sick.
NMPA is our lead sponsor yet again. What is the National Music Publishers Association? What do publishers have to do with songwriters anyway? Well, unlike artists who can be unsigned artists, there is no such thing as an unsigned writer. You can be a self-published, a co-published, or a published writer. Publishers only make money if songwriters make money. So, NMPA goes and fights for you. They go to Congress, they go and support the community, they fight DSPs to get you paid more. That's what they do. They fight for you, and they fight for this podcast. So thank you for fighting for songwriters, NMPA, and thank you for fighting for us, too. Okay, so I use Splice, and I'm pretty sure every producer who listens to this uses Splice, but if you don't, you need to start using Splice. They have the most incredible licensing library that you can go through for any kind of samples you can think of, but they take care of their original creators. In fact, they just came out with a beta version of their AI suite. Unlike its competitors that we know that may not take care of the original creators, every time you use Splice's AI tool, it triggers a licensing event for those original creators. So there's not a better company that I can think of right now that you can use where you can use the efficiency of AI and also know that you're taking care of the creators. And that is Splice. Where did you get your drum samples from?
I would make kind of like some Glitch Mob sample packs, which were like huge for me, and then some I'd make just like a Tiësto mixed with like a bendy 808 thing, and like kind of have like an organic click that's not so, at least for the kicks and stuff, and then the snares, just different layers of stuff. Like you maybe use a little bit of like a punchy dubstep layer, but then like organic claps that are very churchy sounding or something like that.
What's the do you use the same drum sounds now at all that you used then?
I still dabble with the same kick. Like I feel like I had this awake kick that people really like comment a lot about. It's so funny. A lot of like there's a lot of reverse kicks into the transient, and it's kind of just like a floaty like drums. It's not like like super. They're kind of like they were very unique sounding. I kind of just lucked out.
It's a different era now too, because now everybody has Splice, so they can go and go through millions and millions of samples that are cleared already, so they can use that.
Totally,
it's different. With your sort of just not to get nerdy on production.
I love it. I love getting nerdy.
So like the chain that you use on vocals, the chain that you use on how much what are the plugins you use on a vocal chain?
It totally depends on them. Now my LA house, I have a nice LA2A, the Neve, I forget what preamp I use. What's the standard Neve one? It's like the standard. Yes, 1073. What do I use? I love Pro C. I use that a lot. I use Valhalla Vintage like for everything. I love H delay, and then that's kind of all. Like some I use Ableton stock multiband, a little bit OTT sometimes on vocals is really great.
Has Ableton always been your DAW?
Oh yeah, for sure. Other than GarageBand in like the very original state.
Tell me about creating Fractures.
That one just started with the guitar riff. I was just like messing around. The guitar that I recorded that on is actually like so broken. But it like had a really nice, like the two low strings were like really nice. So I played it very weirdly, where like I just did the do 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 do. And then I didn't do the bend, and then I did the bend on because I wanted it on that same high string because it sounded nice. With guitar riffs, I'm very like, like I like how I want to like really focus on the sound, like the timbre of where I'm playing it, like a lot of high neck but low strings. But that just came like, it's a very simple riff, but that was like one of my favorite guitar riffs for sure.
There's 2 years between that and Ascend, and you're starting to tour and it's getting bigger and bigger, playing bigger and bigger festivals.
Yeah.
What's the adjustment from, listening to records on your headphones while you're skiing to performing at festivals for tens of thousands of people?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think like the first time I really performed to a decent crowd was 2015 Electric Forest. I played at 1:00 right after yoga, but it was popping. It was so fun. And I like, oops, sorry. I had this like, I just had so much fun. Like being sober, like not really like being like I had performed before, but I just feel like I drew a crowd. I kept the crowd and I like saw them really enjoying themselves, and I enjoyed like the music was so loud, and like best place to listen to your music I think is like blasting through like you're blasting it, and it's just I don't know, it was like a total surreal, like I love performing still. It's just such a high for me, and it's I obviously I chase the highs, so I was just like let's go, like I love it, and I wanted to make it the most like I've always been like really want to immerse, like how do I immerse everything, like I always want every time I possibly could I would invest the money into production. I would like break even on a lot of stuff, especially like headline tours and stuff like that. Like your first ones, shoot for break even and put everything into your show. That was like my mentality.
People don't talk about the chasing the highs from playing shows. People don't talk about the downs of being in a quiet room after playing a show.
Yeah,
and how complicated that is, and that's why a lot of people fall into bad habits while they're on tours, and why when they come home they struggle.
Excuse me.
They struggle with acclimating to some normal life because they've just been, in front of tens of thousands of people screaming at them, and you feel that high. How do you cope with the quietness of a hotel room?
You know what? I'd like genuinely, I think I had just gone through like so many really shitty lows that like the highs of performing and the highs of like looking at my career and the potential of a career and like getting into the business mind of everything, I loved, I love that aspect. So whenever I would like do a big show, I would always be like, what's next? What's like, I wouldn't really feel a really big low. I would just be like, I want to chase something more, and I feel like I still have that.
I think going into music, like, the creation process is, I know a few people who tour and where what they do the minute they get off stage is put on headphones and start creating.
100%. It's like if my ears aren't totally ringing, I'm gonna mess with shit.
Yeah,
sure. And how
are your ears?
They're actually great. I just got a hearing test and they're fire. Yeah, I'm still so good. That's crazy. So great. I can still hear like that's amazing. 17K.
Oh, great!
Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I guess I'm just lucky
because lucky.
Pretty much 2015 to like 2020, I did not use fucking anything. Like I loved just blasting that shit.
When you play songs in front of people, that's the best way to know if a song works.
For sure.
Have you ever played a song that you're like, this is a smash, and there's just between crickets?
That's so funny. I mean, I think honestly, it's actually songs that get really big, typically because of the vocal or because of the writing, are really underwhelming to play at first. Because like, You Like Good Things was super underwhelming to play at first because nobody like knows it yet. It's like fun and it feels good. Like I know the production feels really right, but like it, like that song after it came out is like the best song ever. But before it came out, it's like nobody knows this shit. And I see online like people love it. So I'm like, oh, this is good. It feels good. But like when, until people scream it, it doesn't really like feel the same.
There's really some funny.
Like one song, like Feel Something with I Prevail and Excision. That song, from the day I played it, I was like, this is meant to just be like listened to live. Like there's such a good scream and like the melodies, like it's just an anthem. It feels like an anthem. And that I felt like off the rip was just felt anthemic.
Jon Bellion, our longtime friend,
Absolute goat.
Good Things Fall Apart feels like a really good moment for everybody who's involved in that. It's like the cool kids in both worlds kind of collide.
So sick.
Tell me about how Good Things Fall Apart came to be.
That was my I had a writing camp with my good friends Rock Mafia over in Santa Monica for Ascend, and myself, Jason, Sarah, and Jay Hart were in a tiny room, just jamming on an acoustic guitar. And
Jason Evans, Sarah Hudson, and Jay Hart, and right?
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
And we're just jamming, and Jason pretty much rips that intro riff. Yeah. Dude, it's the fastest song I've ever wrote.
Yeah, he's fast.
It was. I mean, we've had other sessions but like that song was like an hour and a half. Crazy. It was crazy. Recorded the demo. The demo kind of sounded a little country, but it was just the guitar and a bass. And like we started with the chorus. He was just strumming the chords, and we were pretty much like. I think the first. I can't remember if we had the first or the na. I can't remember what came first, but like the yas were. But all of us were like, like it was so. And then that little I can't remember who had the little turn at the end. I know Jason went there with the guitar, but I can't remember who thought. But anyways, that's like the bones of it. And then it's like I'm such a Jon Bellion fan, and I just felt like Jon was going to be like, if anybody would take it to the next level. Like I had a really good song. I loved it. And then just randomly Jon was like, I love this. Like I'm going to cut it. And he did this whole new thing at the end. That was just like the best thing ever. That third, like all those ad libs, and it's like, it was just such a good song.
All those people are lovely people. So it's fun to also, it's, when you have a song that's successful with people you don't like, it's difficult because like nobody wants to text about it. There's bad juju. Funny. Nobody, like, we've all been on tracks where it's been a clusterfuck, and you're just spending the whole time being like, this just is like, it may. If it doesn't work, you kind of feel like it was the juju, and if it does work, you're kind of like, this is weird because they're on an island celebrating the success of it.
Interesting.
And then when you have something with a bunch of nice people on a text chain where everyone's like, those people are just like big hearts everywhere. It's super enjoyable because you guys went, only you guys know what it's like to be in that room to just write that quickly.
It was so fun. One of my favorite sessions for sure.
You start working at this point with other, you've been working with other DJs, but the biggest DJs in the world, that is what makes the DJ culture so exciting, is this fearlessness about like collaborating.
Yeah, I feel like it's very like so open to collaboration more than any other genre.
How much of it is you reaching out? How much of it is people reaching out to you?
I've always had like my inspirations and stuff like that, and it's always coming up. You're like, I hope one day I get to work on a song with these people, and like that's still true today. Like I still have people like in the back of my head that I would love to still work with. And I think like it's just so fun to like be I'm very obsessive with listening to music and finding music, and like when I get to learn how somebody did something that I was like trying to learn myself that I couldn't figure out, and I learn how they do it, it's just so freaking cool. Like the nerdy aspect with production and like glitches or like how they layer stuff differently. It's just like really, like I love that stuff. I can nerd out on that so much.
So how do you only 4 years later your biggest show is playing 1:00 after yoga, and now you're headlining a bunch of these tours and a bunch of these shows. Is there a ceiling?
I do not see one in my head. I'm like, we did MSG in 2019. We had a really good like arena S tour, and like and then 2020 sucked, but because it was like, and then it was just like, what do I do? But I was always like, talking with my manager, like, can we do a football stadium someday? Like, can we? We always like, like I've had songs that have done really well and I'm so grateful for them, but we've never really like chased hits in that aspect. We've always like kind of looked at like business wise at my career, like tickets first, shows, like everything has been around. For me, I just naturally think about like creating shows, creating really cool experiences, and having music that tells a really cool story behind that. And if the music does really well, great, but I'm not going to like really chase like just streams or chase hit songs and stuff like that. I just
What's a hit to you?
I mean, I don't even know. Like a hit is like a billion stream song, but I've never been like, I need a billion stream song for my career to do well. Like I haven't had one and I'm fine and I'm happy and like I'm not really sacrificing anything. Like I'm making what I want. But I feel like if you're chasing a billion stream song, unless you're really lucky, you kind of have to adapt a bit.
How do you adapt?
Or you have to I don't know. I just feel like production wise and stuff, like there's some songs that get a billion streams that are phenomenal, but then there's a lot of stuff that's just like very easy to listen to. The production is kind of like tamed, like the drums are tamed, everything's a little smaller, and it's not as, you know, small to big. Like I love small to big, like very cinematic, and a lot of that stuff doesn't translate, I feel like, to like being a huge hit song. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I'm wondering if you agree, because
no, I look, man, I mean, earmuffs to some of the people in the room, but the first way the first people to say like, hey, do you want Illenium on the podcast was your record label. Record labels, they're built on billion stream songs.
Yeah.
So like, is that something that your team on the record side support the vision of let's go tickets first, move forward?
I mean, yeah, I think,
or is the goal to have there to be more collaboration in breaking some of those songs? Because
I think ideally
the quality of the songs are there,
but I think ideally the situation is you like the small percentage of songs that get to that huge are really authentic, and there is a small percentage of that, and that's what I want to live in, obviously. But I don't want to force, like, if that happens to a song that I really love, like if it would have happened to Good Things, I totally love that. Like it's still Good Things crushed. It did great, but like it's like I believe in that song. I stand fully behind it, and I don't really want to like do like a bunch of manipulating like the production and the song and the lyrics to move outside of my world just for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, especially because you can't control it.
Like I want the authentic, organic hit. If it comes, great, cool, sweet. But
one
like,
of the best things you do is release songs that aren't necessarily, the coolest thing about the DJ culture is like you can be it's where the producer is the artist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In many ways. Mm-hmm. And I work with a lot of DJs, and the goal is sometimes to write songs that are just for this isn't the right thing. I'm it's not just like raise your hands in the air, but it's like they sort of like
there's nothing bad with that, for sure.
There's nothing bad with it, but there's sometimes like the low hanging fruit version of writing a song, and most of the good DJs are like, I don't want to release that.
Got it.
But what you do really well is write songs that mean something, where it's like they don't really belong. Not all your songs belong in the cliche of what a DJ would release.
Yeah. A lot of it's very different. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the lyrics are geared towards your story or your ethos. And
or even like production wise, like mixing a lot of like more rock elements with electronic music takes it out of, like, I think, it takes it out of both worlds in a way, and it makes it hard to like, but it's such a cool sound to me, and I enjoy it. So
your collaborations with 30 Seconds to Mars and Avril, and like you have so many of these like rock more rock leaning legends
For
that
sure.
you're like, it comes across like that.
Yeah.
How did you deal with, COVID happens and everyone shuts down, and you had just released some music,
Yep.
how did you deal with, the shutdown?
I mean, I think I was also like really burnt out at that time. We had been grinding for like 5 years. And I think at first I was like, okay, I could use a month break or 2 month break. At first I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And, I was still like making a ton of music. Like I loved it felt like earlier days where I wasn't touring so much and I just got to be in the studio a lot.
Right.
I was playing a lot of video games and just like hanging out with my girlfriend at the time and now wife, but we were just like enjoying the time off for like a month or two. And then it was like, okay, I feel like part of me was just like kind of ripped out and I can't access that part of me because I like loved performing. I loved, like playing the music live, had the importance of the music, like, and the effect it has on all these people, like felt really good to me. And like that felt like it was, I was fulfilling a purpose of some sort. And that just was weird as hell to not be able to access for a year, just
so
like,
bizarre.
yeah, it was super odd. And still trying to like engage the best I could with my fans and staying on social media and stuff, but it was a weird time. It was like just pretty toxic and I could not wait to get out of it for sure. And not being able to travel, like I was starting to travel internationally a lot. I was in Asia a lot, and then just be like not able to do anything was weird.
Yeah, you said now you do 100 and how many shows a year?
Like 110, 120-ish.
Is there a cap at how many you'll do?
That's the cap for sure. I would not do any more than I'm doing right now. I think I'm at a decent spot in terms of like, I don't want, to like, I want to play as much as I can while I still can, but I don't want to, some people do more than that. And I would suffer from that for sure.
How is your wife at listening to your music?
Oh yeah. She's good. I mean, she's like,
does she do music?
She's like has a really good ear. She has a really unique ear, like not huge in the pop world, but like loves like Enya and like a lot of like really worldly stuff.
I mean, we talk about Sigur Rós,
Sigur Rós, like all that stuff. She really likes,
Sigur Rós before.
Yeah,
Sigur Rós,
exactly. She loves like kind of abstract stuff, but she has a good ear for unique, like making things unique and like not sounding super safe.
Do you play everything for her?
Everything, yeah. Everything, even the like bad demos, good demos. I have like
has she ever said like this is a great song? Like, what's an example of her being like, you should focus on this song that you didn't know was a hit?
That's a good question. She, I mean, this was before we started dating, but she loves my song "Needed You." That's her favorite song of mine on Awake. She loves the beginning. It's very Enya-esque. The beginning is very Enya, but since then, I'm trying to think.
Do you write songs specifically knowing what your wife likes?
Not really, actually. Like I will be coincidentally writing something and be like thinking of our relationship, and if it's like a really feel good song, like I'll be excited to show her because I'm like, I was thinking of you today, and like that's and like we have, really good like. Yeah, I don't know. It's good vibes on all of that. Like even if I'm writing a, more emotional song that's like dark or deeper, like she always like, yeah, she's like just always has really good feedback and like listens to it. Fresh ears are so important when you're spending like 12 hours on a song and you're like, I think this is good. And then to like see the light click where like, yeah, it's okay. It's good. Like you gotta have people like that.
By the time you get to Fallen Embers, you're, which thematically, these albums really are telling the Phoenix story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you now in the session where you're like, I want a song to be more about this? Are you involved at all in the creation of the songwriting? Or are you so focused now
on Ascend? It was a lot of, I would say like 70-80% of that. But then when Fallen Embers came back and we were all stuck inside, it was actually back to mostly write or like mess with instrumentals and get vocals on them.
Got it.
Or have like a random top line that's written on a piano and just reproduce it all.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, Ascend, it was like I was in the studio for a lot of the sessions. I feel like it was the first time like that I had been more public about my past with, addiction and stuff like that. And I was like, I just wanted to kind of tell that personal story.
you start getting, Grammy nominations.
Crazy. I know. So cool.
I
was not expecting it whatsoever. Like, yeah, it was surprising and awesome.
How did you celebrate that?
Well, my wife woke me up. I was sleeping in. She woke me up and told me, and I was just like, what? Like just was so excited. It was, everyone who makes music, like you can be a hater, but anyone who makes music typically, like that's a dream, to be nominated for a Grammy. And I just feel like I wasn't like chasing it really, but it was like, it's cool to be recognized and by a different group of people, like by music people, and like not just your fans, which to me, like I'll always go back to like my fans recognition is definitely the most important to me, but it was just really nice. And, we had a good day. We like had celebratory dinner and steaks.
I mean, it also is number one as an EDM album on Billboard.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing changes sort of, it's kind of like, do you have imposter syndrome, or did you feel like you earned it at that point?
That's a good question. I feel like myself and my team have earned it by that point for sure. Like I think, I've always been so career focused and like looking at numbers and all this to like sales and all this stuff. And I'm like, typically when one thing starts doing well, the other things follow. And I feel like we were doing really well with tickets and really well with tours and all that. And so it was like cool to see an album kind of like fill in too and be like all the aspects of the career is like doing well, which was really cool.
Where's your ego?
I mean, I try to be as humble as possible. Like I'm so grateful and like it's cool. Like I feel like literally I came from a spot where I was like literally almost dead to here, and I'm like just happy to like be here and happy to like be able to do what I do every day. It's like I love getting in the studio still every day and getting in and making this Sphere show. Like I love it, and I can't wait to show my like all the fans this insane amount of work we're putting in. Like I just love all that stuff, and I think I'm proud as hell of like the career that myself and the team have built. And I think like there's times where I'm like, I'm just very confident that like we did really well, but I'm not really like egomaniac in terms of, I try not to be a dick.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so easy, a lot.
It's so lame when people you meet though are like, you look up to them and they're fucking dicks. Like, ugh, that sucks. That's so lame. I don't want to be that
guy. Going back, to Fallen Embers, first time with Ian Dior is a really big record.
Yep.
What made you want Ian on that record?
I was a big Ian fan. I listened to a lot of the stuff like that feature he did on the MGK album was sick. I mean what's the huge song that him and Mood, that was such a banger, dude. He was just crushing it. And so I had my team out and or my team reach out, and he was down to hop on, and it was just fire. That was so fast. Such a fast like working of a song.
I've seen, memes of people talking about the producer who just like cranks out big records. It's just like, yeah, it was so fast. It was like we had 15 minutes, 15 minutes before lunch.
Oh, I'm not that guy.
I created this beat, and it was like, it was a smash. It was not hard to write a hit. It's like, it just happens.
I'm like actually so the overlayer. I overlayer like a ton, and I do way too much sometimes. And that song was just simpler, for sure.
Do you purposefully do less stuff? Do you purposely edit out stuff now?
I should more. I'm still like I just love, like, I feel like with cinematic stuff, there are so many cool layers, and I listen to like so much of that. And I'm a huge like movie guy and like Hans Zimmer stuff. Like I love the layers of like really small to really big. And so I'm always like on that side for sure in terms of production. And some people I think that maybe more like have more hits are very simple. I'm not, I should probably work on being more simple.
Why was the next album self-titled?
I feel like I was, like the whole first 4 albums had a very much of a Phoenix kind of like metaphor and like really followed a story. And then I was just at a point where I loved all the stuff I had made, but I was just like kind of bored. And I was, like very synth heavy, very like, I just wanted to like go to another area for a little bit and just go to like what I grew up listening to, like all that, there's like I get the same satisfying small to large, like with a synth wall versus a guitar wall, like a wall of sound with guitars has that same hit for me. Yeah. Love Linkin Park, love Bring Me the Horizon, like a lot of metalcore, and I that's what I listen to a lot. And so I was just like, I feel like there's like a merging of this type of stuff that I just want to focus on a whole album with.
Have you worked with Mike Shinoda at all?
Yeah, we had a session. Mike's a man. He's awesome.
Mike.
Nothing happened with the session, but I love Mike. He's such a beast.
You got to work with Avril, who I've also worked with. Who's wonderful.
Sick.
And yeah, she's so great.
It was also so fun to do, like all of these guys, like all of those guys are just like my idols and listen to them so much. And yeah, it was fun.
Do you have expectations, like, when that album comes out, do you start having certain expectations with charts and critical acclaim? Do you start looking at when the Grammys come out? Do you how do you deal with the, every time a new song comes out? What are your expectations?
To be honest, with that album, I didn't have super high expectations because I knew it was such a merging of genres that typically when you merge a bunch of genres, it doesn't get support from all of the genres you mixed in. It gets like less support from all of them because because it's, you're not really full in the rock world, but I'm also not really making that much of an electronic album. So it's like in this middle area. So I really liked that sound. I thought it was cool, but I wasn't like expecting.
It's also super important for artists to do that. Real artists need to take chances.
I so needed a break from like the electronic focused stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it fully got me way more excited to make the album I was just working on and just finished. Like,
well, the tempos are different.
Yeah.
Like there were choices in that album that are different than the other albums.
I mean, it was fun also to switch like the writing perspective. Like I wrote so much of it with Travis Barker and a lot of like Andrew Goldstein and like so many like Drew Folk, lots of rock writers. And that was so fun for me because I listened to like all of their songs that they are a part of so much. And it was pretty much just like get in the studio, rip some guitars, rip some drums, and write a rock song. Like that's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah. Like I could do that all freaking day. I love that shit. So
you mentioned you're talking about rock, but then right before that you were talking about Hans Zimmer. What are some of the soundtracks that inspire you?
I mean, I think like Time, the Interstellar theme is like one of the best songs ever. Yeah. And like the movement in that and the dynamics is just so fire. I mean, also freaking what's it called? The Interstellar one, Cornfield Chase, banger. The Dune soundtrack. Dune 2 is like, I've watched it like 8 times. Phenomenal movie. But also such a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
The Duke little so good. But yeah, I listen to a lot of that stuff.
Let's talk about the Sphere.
Okay.
Can I go?
Hell yeah, I got you, bro.
That's all I want to know. How involved are you in the experience?
Very, like every aspect. It's so fun.
How are you involved in all of your show's visuals?
I think like the Sphere show specifically or overall generally?
We'll go overall and the Sphere.
I think overall, whenever I do like an album tour, I'm very like involved in the visual aspect. I'd say like every single DJ show that I play now, I just let Sandy, who's my like full-time VJ, she knows what I enjoy creatively, and I just let her go full, like do it totally herself now. But I think building your career, it's like really important to have a really good communication with whoever is in charge of that and be like, this song, this works really well. Slow the tempo down a little bit. Should be more, and like everything should be really in tune with the tempo and the movement of the song and everything like that. And like when we would do like tours, like the Ascend tour was the first time we really did like world building visuals, and it was like very video game looking now to me, but it was really cool. You could just build these, you would direct these animators to like, I want this character, I want it to be like a sci-fi like eye looking thing, and very much like orange Blade Runner-esque colors, and you direct in that sense. But I was never really like building that much of a story. It was just like making cool visuals and a cool world. And I've always like really cared about building those worlds for each album pretty much, and each album tour. And it's a similar thing with the Sphere, but like way more way more crazy, and like absolutely the most work that I've done for a show by far. Like not even freaking close. It's so fun though. Like visually, we started in January. We had our first storyboard. We like myself, Laura, and Sandy wrote pretty much like what the overarching chapters of the story we wanted to be. And then we got in touch with our like who became our animation company, and they helped pretty much take those chapters and draw stills of scenes. And then we got approved to do the shows, and that was in like February. And pretty much ever since then, the plan was I needed my final set, the final Sphere show set, done by July, which means I needed, so by final, I mean every single tempo and timeline and song structure and drop length is final. So like I pretty much February to July wrote my whole album and produced it out to be like maybe 60 to 90% on all the songs, if that makes sense. So that I have like and it was cool to be able to write to those scenes though. Like it was really cool. Because we had the story, the visual story, and then we go into a session and be like, let's write to like this type of theme because it's gonna fit really well here, tempo and key wise, in the set. And that's really cool. It was kind of almost like writing to film, but without seeing the film yet. But
have you composed to movies?
No, I would love to though.
Yeah,
sign me up. Yeah, it'd be sick.
It feels like, when you talked about your life's journey, being in the wilderness was really important. It was really important.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite of being at the Sphere.
Well, we're kind of creating your own world though to like escape into for sure. But it's you're not wrong. But it's like with the sound and everything that we're doing, I mean the spatial aspects, we're like going so hard into movement and like sound effects and really making the visual alive sounding like a film does. Like you hear the atmosphere. And I think it's gonna be freaking rad.
Are you happy?
Yeah, stoked. I'm so pumped for the show.
Are you happy in general?
Oh yeah, I'm chilling, dude. I've been gaming a good amount the past few days and had some good shows.
What do you play?
I play Escape from Tarkov. It's like this hardcore shooter, like survival. It's intense. It's like not a de-stressor.
Are you good at it?
I'm okay. I've played a lot, but no, I'm not like.
When you tour, are you touring you're just flying everywhere, I assume?
Right now, yes, but like typically typically for an album, I'll have a big album bus tour too. That's like, 30 to 50 shows in North America, and then we'll do a Europe leg and an Australia leg.
How much gaming do you do on a bus?
I typically save like really fun solo games for like the bus, because you don't typically have good internet, but it's really fun to play a lot of like the story games.
Yeah. What's your favorite of those?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Classic.
So good. I mean, I love all the GTA stories. Witcher 3, fire game. Elden Ring, so good. Yeah.
Do you aspire to be a family man?
Yes, one day when my touring's when it happens, I want to slow down a bit on the touring for sure.
Yeah.
But right now, not in the cards right now, but I think over the next few years for sure.
What kind of music should we expect from you in the future?
I mean, this album is like, I called it Odyssey because it is very much like a journey of different sonics, and it's definitely more scory, more cinematic than any of my other stuff. Like there's just an undertone that I feel like connects all the genres of very, very like string focused. I worked with I don't know if you know Mako.
Yeah, sure.
Mako's the
Yeah.
freaking man. So he does a
Wow.
lot of like
Yeah, classic.
score stuff.
Yeah.
He pretty much produced with me this whole album, and we just
Amazing.
like really wanted an undertone, and the Sphere show he has helped so much with. But we just wanted this undertone of like not really dark, but just like intensity and like, you know, emotion. And I feel like if you just go full EDM, you know, it just like has a little bit, it doesn't have the depth that I want with like that. If you bring strings and kind of like, especially for the verses and like the chorus and then merging, you know, you can kind of go more cinematic with those aspects. And then during the build, you kind of bring in a little of electronic stuff and merge the worlds.
Well, thank you for doing this podcast.
Dude, yeah, thank you. So fun chatting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I said this multiple times, but and obviously I'm friends with Jason, Sarah, J Hart, and
Goats.
Bellion, and you know, I know a lot of your co-writers and along the way, and I think it's an interesting thing when there's a DJ producer who encourages collaboration from different sources.
Yep.
And you know, I always wish I had more of the ability to find singers before they're huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it takes a certain person to say, no, I want to work with this kind of person.
Yeah,
that
for
kind of
sure.
person.
For sure.
Because and it just a certain chutzpah, if you will. And you know, you just have done a really good job at being part of the community.
Oh, thank you.
So
well, I love the community. I love like getting into sessions and writing with new people, writing with people I've worked with. Like there's so many friendships and epic people that I've met through that whole process, and like it's just a really cool community.
What's your favorite session story?
Favorite? I mean, I would always say the good things one. Like it was just, I mean, it's not like that crazy of a story, but it was just like so fluid. I've never had a session that fluid, like that fast. We didn't overthink the lyrics. We just like we went through it fast, like so quick, and it was just like so addicting to listen to. I don't think I've ever listened to a demo more than that demo.
What was the can you play the demo?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. It's just
where were you when you recorded
it? At Rock Mafia's Santa Monica tiny room.
Tell them I say what's up.
They're awesome.
Shout out Rock Mafia.
I absolutely love them. Let's see where it is.
Here, I'll do the soundtrack underneath. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It's loading.
Did I say something wrong? Did you hear what I was thinking? Did I talk way too long when I told you all my feelings that night? Is it you? Is it me? Did you find somebody better? Someone who isn't me? 'Cause I know that I was never your type. Never really your type. Overthinking's got me drinking, messing with my head. Well, tell me what you hate about me. Whatever it is, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I could be dramatic, but everybody said we had it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, times with a broken heart. I guess that sometimes good things fall apart.
Yeah, it's so
So
sick.
funny. Just, yeah, so good. Yeah, that pre too is just like the most buildy pre. It's just got such an anticipation to it.
It's weird how songs happen, man. It's
I
like
know.
you can do. You're doing you're on your 6th studio album.
Yeah,
7th, you know,
crazy.
it's like, and you do all these songs, and then it's like someday you happen to be at this one place, and these
Yeah, I
people
know,
happen to
right?
be there who've been together before.
Yeah.
And you've worked with these people before, and all this, but for some reason that day,
Yeah.
somebody says the right thing,
Yep.
and the right track starts, and you know,
It's so crazy how it happens sometimes.
I always feel like when people talk, I talk about this a lot on here, but people are always like, oh man, if I was in bigger rooms, I'd write hits. It's like, no, man, there are plenty of
we were in the
stories
smallest
of-
room there, I promise.
It's like,
physically.
you know, it's that thing. It's like, it might be that makes you write the bigger song. It's like you're writing with, I mean, all those people are amazing writers, but you know, you can very well be in a session with the biggest writers in the world at the biggest studio in the world with the biggest artists in the world, and nothing good comes from it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And here, like, an effortless day,
Yep.
and then there you go.
Can't force it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see you at the Sphere.
Hell yeah, let's go. It's gonna be sick.